want. Perhaps I'm in the picture. Ja, hallo und herzlich willkommen zum Talk with the Master, Evelyn Meerschout. It is a little bit difficult, ein bisschen schwierig für mich, das Belgische gut auszusprechen. Aber wir freuen uns, dass wir bei der 5. Deutschen Figurentheaterkonferenz Evelyn zu Gast haben mit ihrer Kenntnis, wie man Kostüme zum Leben erweckt. Und wir sind gespannt, was sie uns zu sagen hat. Unser Talk wird heute übersetzt, weil Evelyn spricht Englisch. Ja, dann viel Vergnügen.
Yes, now.
But now it says mute.
Das bist du. No, ich höre es noch nicht.
Hallo?
Welche Nummer hat sie da? Genau.
Hello? Is this better? Yep, perfect. So, sorry. Hello. So I will talk a little bit about myself today, how I became to a point of being a costume designer or a puppet maker or a player with material, maybe more. When I was in secondary school, I was not doing arts at all. I was doing it like after school, but not in school. I was in a Latin, Greek, math class. And then at 18, when you have to decide what will you study, what will you become, I was like, yeah, I could study law or something, but it would not make me very happy or more rich. So then I thought maybe the arts, because I really like to do things with my hands. And I thought then graphic, drawing and everything. But I thought, okay, we will just look in the booklet. And then I saw there costume design, theater costume design. I thought, okay, I don't know. I will go and look in the school. It was in Antwerp, it was another city, so I went there with my mom.
So maybe we make a short break for me.
Ah yeah, sorry, I forgot already.
Also,
Sorry, I forgot the translation already.
Also Evelyn möchte ein bisschen von sich erzählen und ein bisschen, wie sie zu Kostümdesign gekommen ist. Sie war anfangs in einer Grundschule und auch in der weiterführenden Schule war sie auf einer lateinisch-griechischen Schule und hat sich also mehr mit Science und Mathematik beschäftigt und hat aber festgestellt, als es um die Berufswahl geht, das macht sie nicht glücklich. Und hat überlegt, wird sie jetzt Rechtsanwältin oder was anderes? Und dann hat sie einfach in so einem Buch nachgeguckt, wo es unterschiedliche Berufe gab. Und da stand dann drin Costume Design und hat gesagt, oh ja, das interessiert mich. Und das war zwar nicht in dem Ort, wo sie gewohnt hat, sondern in Antwerpen, aber sie hat gesagt, sie probiert es mal aus.
So I went to give a sign, Alice. So I went to the school, and what was really pleasing for me is there were a lot of crafts, a lot of techniques that you have to learn or could learn to achieve, to making masks or to make costumes or to make stage designs, set drawings. A lot of things were possible there. So it was not just drawing or not just sculpting.
Also sie ging dann zu der Schule und sie fand es sehr befriedigend zu sehen, dass sie die Möglichkeit hat, ganz, ganz viel unterschiedliches Handwerk mitzunehmen. Also nicht nur Kostüm, sondern auch Zeichnen und mit den Modellieren, Plastilieren. Also dass das einfach ein ganz weites Feld war, was sie erforschen konnte.
Yeah, so I thought, okay, let's try this. And I applied. I was not so good because I did not do art school. But they said, you can come. And then I did drawing class. I did as evening school graphic. I did costume design in the day. And I tried and tried. And then with the school, we went to Prague, to the Quadriennale for the scenography. And there I could see an exposition of the Damu, where they give alternative and puppet theater. And then I saw all the sketches to make the characters and the figures and all the little techniques. And I thought, oh, this is really interesting too. And then I went 6 months to Prague.
Mhm. Also sie hat sich dann für die Schule in Antwerpen beworben und wurde genommen. Und während ihrer Studienzeit haben sie eine Studienfahrt nach Prag gemacht und dort hat sie Arbeiten von der dortigen Schule gesehen und die Zeichnungen und das hat sie so sehr interessiert, dass sie dann 6 Monate nach Prag gegangen ist, um da zu studieren an der Schule.
And there I started my end work. So at the end of the school of the 4 years, you have to present something. And this project came to life in Prague. And this is also a project, when I look back at it, is also the beginning of what I really like and how I want to experiment and what I want to use in my work. So I brought also pictures because my work is about seeing the things. And in Prague, I started the idea of making 2 puppets, but in one form. So it has a box of a head, a box of the body, and really long, stiff tubes as legs. And then one puppet I made out of cotton padding, and it could sit in a little box. It could be in a bowl in your hands. It could float anywhere in the air. And the second I made out of wood. And then we really played with the different material and the different characters, emotions, and liveliness you can give to these 2 characters. And this is always in my work, that I look for a material for the project and then search with this material, what movement can we do, what can we play, and how the environment can change, or what feeling can you give. Voilà.
Also in Prag hat sie auch ihre Abschlussarbeit angefangen und bei der Abschlussarbeit hat sie dann mit Figuren gearbeitet und so ihr Thema entdeckt, was sie interessiert. Also sie hat da mit einer Figur gearbeitet, die aus 2 Boxen besteht und sehr wandelbar ist und im Gegensatz dazu dann noch mit einer anderen Figur aus Holzstäben. Und sie sagt, das ist für sie, was das Interessante ist, was bringt das Material mit, was für eine Bewegung und wie passt es zum Stück.
And then school was out, and then I could just go and did some work with friends, and also went to a puppet company in Ghent, where I did some internship with the puppet maker there, and I also could do some projects of my own. And I'm very grateful to them because they gave me a lot of liberty. So for each project I could think, oh, what will I do now? Oh, now I work with clothes, and now I work with paper, and now I work with foam, and this and that. And no, they didn't know what would I make, but every time something came out, and when I look back, some things were not so good as others, but I had a lot of possibility to experiment with them.
Nach der Schule ist sie dann freischaffend gewesen, hat aber auch ein Praktikum bei einer Puppenspielkompanie in Gent gemacht und die haben ihr die Möglichkeit gegeben, viel zu experimentieren. Also sie hat den großen Freiraum, unterschiedliche Materialien zu erkunden und ihr keine Vorgaben gemacht, was für sie eine spannende Zeit war, Materialien zu erforschen.
So I can show one of the projects with them. They wanted to make a project about a creature, a being that would start really little and could explode and become bigger and bigger and bigger in the play. So we started with just a little ball like this, and then the ball could get 1 leg, could get a second leg, could have 4 legs, could walk around, could live, and then could be pulled out as really a body. And so this I also really like because all the parts are really put in the ball. I have made little pockets in the ball so that just 1 leg can come out and then the other leg can come out and the structure doesn't get tangled inside. And these are the experiments and the material research that I really like. Not to use wood here because it's not possible. It has to be flexible, but this is wire inside and just really floating fabric and this kind of stuff.
Für eine Inszenierung hat sie also eben so eine Figur entwickelt, die aus einem Ei, aus einer Form entsteht, wie ihr es da seht. Und das ist für sie das Spannende, ist zu untersuchen, was für Materialien eignen sich für diese Idee. Also sie war sicher, Holz kann ich nicht nehmen, also was brauche ich, dass ich diese Idee umsetzen kann.
And then later the figure became with really big form and the head came with a big leg, a small leg, and then we changed objects together and made these creatures that was not really so friendly. And in the end, it was just a huge hand that was eating the table on which the puppet was playing in the beginning. And they also wanted to play that the puppet became too big to be manipulated. And this research I like, and this freedom that we start to get, because in the beginning they only played with puppets like this. And then little by little, we could do more experiments with all the puppets and with the other direction and get more of our ideas inside of the playing game also.
Und diese Figur vom Anfang, die hat sich dann entwickelt, erstmal eine riesengroße Figur und am Ende war es nur noch eine Hand übrig, die dann den Tisch, wo die erste kleine Figur drauf gespielt hat, aufgegessen praktisch hat. Und sie fand, das war für sie total spannend, eben mit einer Idee anzufangen und dann weiterzuentwickeln durch Spiel und durch Research, durch
and
Untersuchen.
Experimenting on stage, that's really what I also like to. We see each other, we experiment, we talk, we put some material, I go home, I try some things at home, I come back, I give them, we see, we look, this is really what I like, and not to come with the finished thing.
Sie mag wirklich den Austausch und den experimentalen Prozess von so einer Probe. Also nicht, dass sie zu Hause irgendwas vorbereitet und dann vorsetzt, sondern dass sie gemeinsam mit den Spielern das erforscht und weiterentwickelt.
And the last project I did with this Ultima Thule company, they really wanted to be even more open, not to have really the puppet and the player. So there we could do some more research about maybe the objects and the things that we have around can be costume or puppet or boat or whatever. And the play is about two characters that arrive in a space. And the first one is really strict. He has only the necessary with him. And then the other one has really too much. Maybe you want to translate.
Ja, das letzte Inszenierung, die sie mit dieser Gruppe gemacht hat, da haben sie untersucht unterschiedliche Objekte, die können als Figur, als Objekt an sich, als Kostümteil dienen. Und es gibt zwei Charaktere. Der eine Charakter, der hat nur das Nötigste mit sich und der andere, der hat einfach viel zu viel mit dabei.
So this one came with his little backpack and the other one would come with a really big bag. We decided that she would be in the bag when she arrived with this trail. You would arrive in a box, so it would be a really big bag with her in the bag in the box that come, and then she would come out. And during rehearsals, we discovered that it would be nice that she has also the legs inside. And then in the beginning, it's just a bag with legs, and then she could come out little by little, and then one arm can come out and then the zipper can close again, two arms can come out, she can come out as half of it and play with this image. But for me here it was important to create really this square image with the legs and the shoes and everything in the same fabric, that you create this kind of strange object. We also made it little, but then we didn't use that. But to have these strict images, I like.
Also diese Figur, die kam dann mit dem einen Schauspieler, der diese große Tasche hat, und sie war komplett in dieser Tasche drin. Und für sie war es wichtig, dass da kamen als erstes nur die Beine raus und dass alles aus einem Material ist und sich daraus entwickelt aus diesem Material.
Yeah, and then the personage really can also come out of the costume and then be really. She would have a really short trousers and really small costume to be in contrast with this big bag that was covering her the whole.
Die Schauspielerin hatte ein sehr kurzes, kleines Kostüm, um eben auch im Kontrast zu sein zu dieser Riesentasche, die es vorher war.
If you have any questions or I don't know what,
wenn ihr Fragen habt oder
wave.
Gedanken, dann könnt ihr die gerne teilen.
Somebody wants to say something?
Möchte jemand was sagen?
No? Okay. So the next project I made was for babies. It's one of the last I did now. And the company made different boxes where the parents with the baby can be inside.
Das nächste Projekt, was sie gemacht hat, war für Babys und war so gedacht, dass lauter, wie ihr das seht, lauter Boxen waren und die Eltern konnten mit den Kindern in diese Boxen hineingehen.
Yeah, and you could move around with the boxes. So the project is about what the babies experience when they're still in the tummy. So a lot about sound, about light, about movement, about these things.
Die Idee zu dem Projekt war, darzustellen, was nehmen die Kinder wahr, wenn sie noch im Mutterleib sind. Und das hat mit Klängen gearbeitet, mit Licht.
They worked a lot with plastic and with water and with sounds. And I then had to do a lot of research to have material for the costume and for the stage design also inside these boxes that could fit their ideas of wanting to use new material, but also that it was not too hot, because I could not just make clothing out of plastic, because they're rolling on the ground and jumping everywhere. And then we worked on latex and on organza. There's a really transparent tissue that I don't like, but for this project it would work well.
Sie haben viel mit Kunststoff gearbeitet, also Plastikfolie und Wasser und auch mit neuen Materialien. Und sie sagt, die Schwierigkeit war, ein Material zu finden, was nicht zu warm ist, ja, eben Plastik, weil die sich und über den Boden rollen und so weiter, sondern wo die auch gut drin spielen können.
Yeah, not hard. You could make a costume out of plexi boxes, but then you cannot roll on the ground and be under covers and this kind of stuff. So this is like some experimenting latex sheet. I did a lot of really thin layers of latex and then put their elastics in and tissue that you can open up to have this kind of structure like cell walls. I wanted to think out of transparent layers that are one layer on top of the other, but then you can still look through it.
Am Ende haben sie mit Latex auch gearbeitet und sie hat da experimentiert mit unterschiedlichen Gummibändern, sodass es so dehnbar ist oder dass man es auch in unterschiedlichen Schichten legt, um eben diese Zellstruktur nachzuempfinden, ja, also diese Schichten, die Zellschichten.
And also to have a tissue, then an organza transparent tissue over it, and then try to put things in there that it could be bubbles or cells or transparency, and like this kind of research I did for this project.
Dann hat sie auch mit eben diesen Bubble, also Kunststoffkugeln gearbeitet und die mit Organza überzogen. Ja.
And then the costumes are like this. After a lot of talking, because this was really hard to get my ideas together with their feeling about what it would be, because I would come with a piece of fabric with a lot of material inside that would be thick, and then we could put it on the body, but then they would like, I don't look nice, but you don't have to look nice sometimes. So it was a lot of talking with these musicians and dancers to see what could work. And also on the inside you see that there is then leather, but also fake leather, and also the organza tissue is in the back of the project.
Ja, es war ein harter Prozess oder ein langer Prozess, auch mit den Musikern und Tänzern zusammen die richtigen Materialien zu finden, weil einfach auch persönliche Bedürfnisse von denen mit reingespielt haben und dann am Ende eben zusammenzukommen zu einem Ergebnis, was für beide passend war.
And it was also until the end, on the last moment where then they put on the light, that you see that this tissue becomes like water. Then it was like, okay, this can work, this can be something nice.
Und am Ende erst dann auch festzustellen, dass alle dann plötzlich sehen, dieser Stoff sieht tatsächlich wie Wasser aus, wenn da Licht drauf ist. Ja.
And in this project, I didn't only work with material in the costumes, but also with sound in costume. So searching in really different ways what to use it. And here there's a costume. She put on a jacket and a sock. And in the jacket and in the sock you have layers. And you can put material inside that make a crisping, cracking sound. So when she's dancing and standing still, then there's no sound. When she's moving her foot like this, she can really play with the sound, like do these noises. And this really worked very nice with the babies. And you want to translate?
In dem Projekt hat sie auch gearbeitet mit Klängen, die in den Kostümen drinstecken. Und das Kostüm, was man da sieht, hat es so Taschen, wo man unterschiedliche Materialien hat reinmachen können. Und wenn die Tänzerin sich dann bewegt hat es Geräusche gemacht. Und das hat ganz besonders gut mit den Babys funktioniert.
Yeah, it's very nice when you try something and you see that it works. I was there also with my baby, and then this costume was working, and then were two violin players on each side, and she was really like this, like looking, and this is nice when you feel, okay, this is working for these kids, we can keep this, and other things were not working, like the big tissue with the bubbles, it was for a big, covering piece, and they were rolling under it, but in the end it was not working for this piece of theater, so whoop, the whole thing of like 1 week work was not in the bin, they will use it somewhere else, but yeah.
Ja, also sie findet es schön zu sehen, wenn die Kostüme funktionieren. Sie war selber da mit ihrem Kind und wo dann die Geigen dazu kamen und das Knistern, war das wirklich toll, wie das Kind reagiert hat und ganz, ganz wach wurde. Und es gibt aber auch Ideen, wo sie gemerkt hat in der Produktion, das geht gar nicht, so wie eben dieses große Tuch, was wir gesehen haben mit diesen Bubbeln drauf, das mussten sie rausmachen, weil es einfach nicht funktioniert hat. Und dann denkt sie, ja okay, eine Woche Arbeit für einen Aufschub.
But everything that you do is then it's enriching for yourself because you discover things that you would not have discovered otherwise. So it's not so bad, but sometimes.
Sie sagt, jedes Projekt ist auch ein Abenteuer oder eine Entdeckungstour für einen selber, auch wenn es vielleicht nicht für das Projekt funktioniert hat, bringt es vielleicht für andere Projekte was.
Because I also live with the others. I'm not making performances myself. I'm always jumping in a group when they ask me, and in fact I like it to start with the ideas from the others and then take a bath and then look for a lot of material and then try to offer them something other, something new, something different that can add to their story, to their how they play, to whatever.
Mhm. Als Kostümbildnerin lebt sie für die anderen, also sie hat ja keine eigenen Projekte und sie sagt, sie springt in die Gruppe rein, kriegt von denen Ideen und sucht dann da Materialien und macht der Gruppe Angebote.
Somebody wants to say.
Yes, are there questions? Yeah, we have a microphone.
Aha.
Yes, thank you very much for this very nice impressions. This is a question that is on my mind on working systems, because like when you come as a costume designer into a group, do you have the feeling that it's a collective working process? Because you described a very collective working process where you give ideas, where everyone else gives ideas. Is it this, or is it still that there's a director who says, no, this works, this won't work, and you have to do this, and this goes out, and we have to put this to the bin or to aside to use in another project? So how is your feeling in this? How is the system?
The projects where I am feeling the best is when everybody is exchanging, and when you give something, they give something, you take, they take, when really there is a mixture. But I also had moments that they say, okay, now we do this, or that I come and that they say, oh great, but they don't use it. And that's really a pity for not, because there is so many possibilities, and then maybe it would have been nicer if they said like, no, we look for something else and not just put it aside like this. But in the end, it's always a little bit the director that maybe makes a final decision. I think you need somebody, but it's a lot of talking and talking again and reflecting together, and then you can achieve these things. Because I think that also the sound thing is it can be also invasive, and when you don't talk and when you don't explain and when you don't and when you're not open to experiment, it won't work.
Also die Frage war zu dem, wie sie arbeiten, und sie sagt, sie mag es am meisten eben, wenn es so ein Austausch ist und man miteinander wachsen kann. Es gibt aber auch Situationen, wo sie Ideen anbringt und dann sagt die Gruppe, ja, schön, und legt es zur Seite, wo sie sich dann gewünscht hätte, ja, hätten sie mal vorher konkret gesagt, was sie haben wollen. So, sie hat auch das Gefühl, dass oft am Ende, was dann genommen wird, so die Entscheidung vom Regisseur ist, in welche Richtung es geht.
And it's good that somebody has an overview.
Yeah,
because sometimes while experimenting you can have a lot, and get lost sometimes in all the propositions that you give. So it's good that then in the end somebody has a clear view and says, okay, but we want to create this line in the show, so we choose this.
Es ist hilfreich, wenn es jemand den Überblick behält, ja, vor allem wenn man viel experimentiert, so einer, der immer sagt, aha, wir haben das und das und das entdeckt und jetzt nehmen wir das und das und das.
Like with this big sheet with the bubbles, it was really beautiful, but if it's in the line of the show, if it's not fitting, if it's just a heavy weight, And if it's not helping to create the rest, then yeah, you should do it away.
So wie mit diesem Tuch mit den Kugeln drauf. Wenn es der Show nicht mehr dient und nur im Weg ist, dann ist es besser, eben sich von der Idee zu verabschieden.
Somebody else?
Andere Fragen?
What time is it?
Yes, it's already, I think. One more question, yes. Kannst du es auf Englisch und Deutsch sagen oder nur auf Deutsch?
I wanted to ask, how was your transition after you finished your school and got into the real world? Was it easy? Was it hard for you? Did you know? Did you already had contacts to theaters who wanted to work with you?
Okay.
Also ich frage nach dem Werdegang nach dem Studium, wie es so am Anfang war. Ja.
So I had some friends in theater, so they made also pieces with amateur theater, so they could do what they want, and I could do and also come and do what I want, and this was also an experimenting place. It was not so dangerous.
Sie hatte Freunde im Theater, die auch Amateurtheater gemacht haben, und es war für sie ein schöner Platz, um auszuprobieren.
And so I did a lot of these projects also. And then I had the chance to have this puppet company that they were willing to let me be part of their performances. So I did internship, like it was a guy, and he was making all the time heads with paper, and he would sculpt in paper, and I would finish them with the paper on it. But then you can also see how the people in the theater, how they work. And then they also invited me to make one project, and then to be intern, to make one project, and little by little, people then see what you do. They invite you, and you get more ways and more clients, if you want to say. So it's little by little growing.
Eben, sie bekam dann die Möglichkeit, in dieser Puppenkompanie zu arbeiten oder beziehungsweise ein Praktikum zu machen. Am Anfang hat sie nur Köpfe kaschiert, ja. Also, aber sie hat eben dadurch gelernt, wie funktioniert denn dieser ganze Apparat, und hat dann geguckt, wo kann ich meine Ideen platzieren, und eben mit der Zeit, wo sie da gesehen wurde, hat sich ein Netzwerk entwickelt.
What is this schedule?
It's time, no?
Is it time? No.
Yes.
Yeah, so thank you very much, Evelyn.
It went really quick.
Ja, die Zeit ist sehr schnell vergangen. Es war sehr kurzweilig, auch deine Bilder anzugucken. Thank you for this time you spent with us. And yeah, have a good day.
Thanks.